I don't believe that AI is going to replace anybody in the real estate industry, but I think people using AI will replace people who don't.
Mhm.
It is extraordinarily powerful. You have to get up to speed on using it well. And again, I think it's something people should really focus on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stella Top Seller podcast, where we bring conversations with the top leaders in real estate business. Today's guest is a true legend in New York City commercial real estate, Bob Knakal, Chairman and CEO of BK Real Estate Advisors, a co-founder of the Massey Knakal Realty Services, and an author of the Selling Buildings book. Bob, welcome to my show. It's an honor to have you here.
Well, Stella, thank you so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to our show today.
Amazing, amazing. Bob, I always was curious. You changed the brokerage business in New York City with the territory system. What inspired you to create that strategy?
Well, it really was out of necessity. Paul Massey and I were two young guys starting in New York City. We were not from New York, and it was overwhelming to be a young person coming into New York and trying to get started as a broker. And we just said, this place is so big. There's so many properties. There's no way we could know everything about every neighborhood. So let's just pick one little neighborhood and get to know everything about that area. And then we'd be able to add some value to our clients. And, we started by each taking a small neighborhood and then grew that model like a jigsaw puzzle, putting people to the north, south, east, and west of us. And before you know it, in the Massey Knakal days, we had every inch of the city covered. And, that was a very good operating system for us.
Amazing. That's a brilliant idea. Brilliant. You became knowing for a walking block by block, documenting Manhattan buildings. And that level of the discipline, it's incredible. I see real estate, it's all about the discipline and just you have to be there no matter what. And how did the market knowledge help you with the major deals and negotiating as well?
They always does, Stella. I always say that the very top brokers in our industry possess three characteristics, all very noticeable in their makeup. One is passion for the business. You have
Right.
to love it, because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick around during the tough times that you'll inevitably have. No matter how good you are, you'll have tough times because of the cyclicality of the market.
Right.
But if you stick around, good times will inevitably follow. So passion's important. Expertise. Your question was, how did the market information help you? And it always does. Expertise and knowing something on a very granular level really is a big differentiator. Most people don't take the time to become an expert at one specific aspect of the business. And that information allows you to deliver value to your clients, and it allows you to help them make more informed decisions. The more informed their decisions are, the better those decisions are going to be, and really allows you to differentiate yourself from everybody else. And that differentiation creates a competitive advantage. So that's where the information comes in. And then, like you say, the third characteristic is being able to use discipline well. And notice I say use discipline as opposed to have discipline, because every human being has access to the same potential amount of discipline. We just all choose to use it differently. I think the people who are able to use discipline well, to do the fundamentally correct things over and over again until they work, are the people who will succeed. It wasn't easy spending 220 hours out in the field walking every block. Anybody could do it. It's just you have to make up your mind that you
I
want to
guess
do it and
you
then
stayed
go make it
seated as
happen.
well. It keeps
That's
you in
right.
shape.
That's right.
Amazing. That's a great advice. You know what? Sometimes we asking me, Stella, how can you stay in this industry for so long? New agents are coming and going, and I see new faces all the time. You know what? That's what actually the discipline, expertise, and everything what you said, that's the way just to be, I would not say surviving in this business, but just to be there successful in that. And you doing whatever you do, I amazed. And Bob, I just wanted to share something personal with you. Like years ago, I met you in a real estate convention, and I was so excited to meet you in person. And you signed this book for me, which was so special. And that message that you put here, Stella, keep on going, keep on growing. Honestly, this message stayed with me for a long time. And it's up to this day. I'm like looking at this. Yes, I'm going to grow. I'm going to keep going. And I just wanted to say thank you. It's so
Yeah,
special
glad,
for
glad you
me.
got some inspiration out of that. I think it's important. A lot of times it's easy to take a break and give up a little bit. But if I love what Abraham Lincoln said about discipline. He said that discipline is choosing between what you want now and
Mhm.
what you want most. And when you keep on going and keep on growing, you keep thinking about what you want most, not what you want now.
Absolutely. Wow, amazing. So many challenges in this business. And when you have that strategy, that keeps you going. I love it. I love it. Bob, tell me something. What's the biggest mistakes, let's say, the sellers is trying to do to maximize their property value? Because I see that often. And what's your thoughts about it?
Well, I think on a macro level, I'll talk about this from two perspectives, macro and micro. On a
Okay.
macro level, the biggest mistake a seller will make is not fully exposing the property to the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, my whole career, I've only worked on exclusive listings. I think it's the best way to sell a property. And I suggest every seller do that, whether they hire me or somebody else, hire somebody,
Right.
have them
Right.
in your corner fighting for you, maximize the exposure. The more people that look at it, the more bids you're going to get, the more bids you're going to get, the higher the ultimate bid is likely to be. So it's very important to do that. And on a micro level, I think it really depends property type by property type.
Mm-hmm.
In the multifamily space, you have to have your paperwork up to snuff. If your paperwork's not up to snuff, your value is going to be very bad. On the development site front, you have to make sure you have all your due diligence stuff. Did you do your environmental report? Did you do your geotechnical report? Did you
Right.
get a massing study done? Did you try to buy air rights to maximize the
Mm-hmm.
the density of your site? Did you get to your neighbors and get your access agreements worked out? All of that stuff adds value to your site. So for each property type, there are different things that should be done to
Mm-hmm.
guarantee that you maximize your value.
I see. That's beautiful. The only problem that I have with my clients, I have a lot of off-market properties, and the sellers, they just don't want to expose their property due to the exclusivity, and they don't want it to be on the market. And I feel it's they disservicing themselves not to be on the market. And sometimes it's not easy to explain that this is actually will benefit them to be on the market as an exclusive listing. I thought to see what your thoughts and how you're going to make them to feel much
Okay, well,
confident.
I'll give you an example, Stella. So let's say that you and I are out at a real estate event and we're sitting down at a table of 10 people having dinner.
Mhm.
And you have an off-market deal that you're not permitted to go very broadly with, and I have an exclusive listing. If somebody at that table, maybe somebody you're sitting next to, well, you might say, "Hey, I want to tell you about this property I have for sale."
Right.
And so out of 10 people, you're only talking to one, probably, maybe two. If I have an exclusive, I'm saying, "Hey, everybody at the table, guess what? I have this great property for sale." Which approach do you think you're going to get a better result? Do you think
Of course.
you get a better result selling a property in a conference room with 10 people in it, or in Madison Square Garden in front of 18,000 people saying, "Hey, I have a building for sale"? The doesn't guarantee you're going to get more if
Right.
you're in Madison Square Garden, but the probability is significantly in your favor that you're going
Right.
to get more if you're in Madison Square Garden than if you're just in a conference room.
That's a great example. That's the way I try to explain. You'd rather sell it to the public than sell it in secret. But amazing. Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Uh-huh.
And Bob, by scaling your, meaning that your private boutique, that's how I call it, the most respected firm that you in the industry, what was the key to scale that? How did it happen? I know that you scaled so fast, and it was boom everywhere.
Yeah,
You were
well,
everywhere. It's wow, Bob is here, Bob is there. It's like, how did it happen so fast?
you're talking about Massey Knakal?
Yes, that's the
Yeah,
Massey
I mean,
Knakal. Correct. Yes.
it may seem like it was an overnight success, but it took us a long time to get traction. From 1988 to
Ooh.
2001, we only had 21 people when 9.
Oh, yes, now I remember. That was exactly,
And
oh my
then
God.
we actually scaled up after 9/11. Companies were downsizing, people were being laid off, and we were very counterintuitive. We said, look, New York is tough, New York is strong, we're going to
Right.
bounce back. All these people are out of work. Let's go hire them all, turn them into brokers. And because of our system, being a territory system where everybody had their own area that they were working in, it was almost as if we were giving folks franchises in these neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed us to scale because people were not cannibalizing each other. There were very clear rules and guidelines in terms of how business would be done. If you found out about something that was for sale in someone else's territory, or they found out about something for sale in your territory.
Mm-hmm.
So having good rules that applied to everybody and having a system that allowed for scaling is the important thing. In most places, the more people that are in the environment, the more cannibalization happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to arguments and management headaches and things like that. And we had relatively few, even at our peak, we had 250 people, very few management situations where we needed to solve issues between salespeople because the rules were so clear and the guidelines were so clear. And we were from 2001 to 2014,
Mm-hmm.
we were just a little popcorn stand operating just in New York, competing against regional, national, and global companies. And for 14 years in a row, we did more than 3 times the amount of
I
business that they
know.
did
Yeah.
in
It's
terms of number
amazing.
of buildings sold. And it's just because they couldn't figure out how to scale their businesses, and we did.
Amazing. That's one genius idea and you scale. Great. After billions in transactions, and what still motivates you every day? Just,
Several different things. I still have a great deal of pride in what I do, so that motivates me. I still love the business, the nuts and bolts, the mechanics of doing brokerage. I love helping clients and having them feel like you did a good job for them at the end of the
Mhm.
day. And then something that is driving me more and more now as I get older. I just turned 64, and
Oh, you look
you know,
amazing. You look
thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. I think I still have a good 20 or 30 years in me if God gives me good health. But
Amen
something
to
that
that.
really drives me today is helping the next generation. And that's always been part of my makeup. We sold Massey Knakal for $100 million. I'm very proud of that. We
Wow.
3X the competition for 14 years in a row. I'm very proud of that.
Wow.
But the legacy that I'm most proud of by far is that today in the New York City investment sales world, there are 35 companies or divisions of companies that are owned by or run by people that I taught the business to. And
Amazing.
that's a legacy that I'm very proud of. It's very rewarding for me. And I'm looking forward to growing the next batch of leaders within the industry. I have several people at my firm that I know will have their own businesses someday. And I started my Knakal Deal Makers Network, which is an online mentoring program. We
Nice.
just
I would like to
started.
be a part of it.
Okay, I'll send you the information, but it's all geared around sharing the lessons learned, the experiences, the deal stories, the strategies and techniques to help people do better and build a better business and build a better life. And that's something that I'm really, really enjoying working on these days as well.
Incredible, incredible. You know what? While you're saying all this, picturing in my mind, it's the way you putting this together, and it's incredible. I'm so excited to have you on my podcast. And Bob, the way I see that the industry is going, it's more like AI technology, and it's changing commercial real estate as well. Do you see it's gonna benefit more, and it's gonna be
Yeah,
much easier?
Stella, I don't believe that AI is going to replace anybody in the real estate industry, but I think people using AI will replace people who don't.
Mhm.
It is extraordinarily powerful. You have to get up to speed on using it well. And again, I think it's something people should really focus on.
I see. I see. And what advice would you give to our real estate professionals who wants to build that legacy in real estate the way you are?
Well, just be very intentional about what you do. I think one of the big differences between the people who are average, which most people in our business are average, some people are good, and some people are truly elite. I think the big difference between the people who are elite and the people who are not, that the people who are elite made a decision that they were going to be great. And they made a decision about how they're going to live, their habits, because it's not really, discipline becomes so important. It's not really about letting motivation guide you. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is habitual. It's your habits. It's the way you do things. And I think that people decide that they want to achieve a certain thing or be a certain way. You can make those proactive decisions to do those things.
Right.
And, if you don't take responsibility for where your life is going to end up, somebody else will make that decision for you. And that probably is not going to get you where you want to get to. So I think it's very important to be intentional, figure out what you want, and then proactively make sure you're doing things that you're supposed to do in order to get there.
It's like Tony Robbins was saying, change your patterns, change your life. If you will change your routines and your habits and you have that discipline, you will grow the way you wanted to grow. Amazing. Bob, I want to thank you so much for sharing all this knowledge and expertise with us today. And I'm thrilled, and I would love to have you more on my podcast much often. Wanted to meet with you in person as well, again. And I'm blessed to have you today. Thank
Great,
you.
Stella. Thank you so much for having me on, and best of luck to everybody out there listening.
And send me the info about you said it's going to be the new
mentoring program. It's called the Knakal Dealmakers Network.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening. Stella Top Seller Podcast. See you on the next episode. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Stella Top Seller Podcast. If building real wealth through real estate is your goal, this is your show. Subscribe and follow me on social media. I'm Stella Shalamova. Keep thinking bigger, investing smarter, and living the top seller mindset. Until next time.